Eric Clapton's career has spanned decades, and there's so much we can all learn from him. But we're going to focus on the most important aspects of what any guitarist can learn from Eric Clapton.
In a white room with black curtains near the station.
Now, that wasn't actually Clapton singing, but let's hear about this first one from the man himself.
I heard Buddy Holly and I heard Elvis Presley, and I wanted to know what they were listening to. I wanted to know where it came from. So it became my obsession and my kind of scholarship in a way, like being at school to find out where it started. And I would go back, you know, through Muddy Waters and through all the people that came from Mississippi and Chicago and try and examine it and learn every aspect of it. And I think that's what is fascinating about guitar playing. And the blues and rhythm and blues and rock and roll. There isn't a record made that has any soul that didn't come out of the blues.
Clapton ended up not liking the musical direction the Yardbirds were going, so he actually quit and stuck with what moved him. A lot of guitarists focus on what they think they should learn, but Eric is all about embracing what influences him, which reminds me of one of my favorite Clapton quotes. "My driving philosophy about making music is that you can reduce it all down to one note if that note is played with the right kind of sincerity." Let's hear him play and talk about getting a sound he likes and feels is sincere to himself.
The woman tone is produced by using either the bass pickup or the lead pickup, but with all the bass off. And in fact, if you use both pickups, you should take all the bass off on the tone control. That is to turn it down to 1 or O, you know, on the tone control, and then turn the volume full up, you know. And it's supposed to sound like this.
He's so good at getting a real vocal quality with his guitar, but in his earlier days, he also liked to show off his skills and just let it rip. None of his success would have happened if he didn't do this one thing that is the foundation of it all.
The finger vibrato that you have to use, which is like that, you know, which is very important.
Could you just do that again?
Yeah. You see, that itself is very difficult, can take you a long time to play and get that perfected.
When you're improvising, do you use stock phrases as the raw material? And if so, can you share some?
Yeah, there are phrases that I always play that are stock phrases that I work from, you know, which are just like... all these runs, you know, are put together from old phrases that I first started on, like... And now they're just all kind of messed up with other things which I learned like that, you know, which is...
To get the sounds in your head out of the guitar, you need to be able to get your fingers to do what you want to do. And you see, his dedication to practice is what made it all possible. But for most people, when they're starting out, there's something that holds us back from sometimes even picking up the guitar.
I guess just more resilient, you know, more resilient. You roll with the punches better when you get a little more experienced. I don't tend to suffer from criticism or from mistakes as much as I used to. I used to be very, very insecure about reading bad reviews, things like that.
Really?
Yeah. They had a very profound effect on me earlier on, and now I'm not so moved by it, you know. I'm more secure in myself, I guess.
By persisting through challenges and criticism, Eric was able to move on, grow, and build up a resiliency. You see, doing new things always invites negative feedback, but you can't let the fear of it stop you from experimenting and moving in new directions. This tune is a great example of a mindset Eric has that's really paid off for him. A theme through his career is that he's always been reinventing himself, taking someone else's song and playing it in his own way. And one thing that's led him to meshing styles has been the huge amount of collaborations he's done.
You're asking me will my love grow? I don't know. I don't know. Just take a ride and it may show. I don't know. I don't know.
He's even gotten to play with many of his early influences. At some point in the 70s, he wanted to pull back from the long guitar solo approach and start focusing on songs more. And he explains how the band influenced him so much they made him want to move in this direction. He said, "What I approached about the band was that they were more concerned with songs and singing. They would have 3- and 4-part harmonies, and the guitar was put back into perspective as being accompaniment. That suited me well because I had gotten so tired of the virtuosity or pseudo-virtuosity thing of long, boring guitar solos just because they were expected. The band brought things back into perspective. The priority was the song."
Do you wanna see me cry across the board? Do you wanna hear me beg you to take me back? I'd gladly do it, though I don't wanna fade away. Give me one more day, please. I don't wanna fade away.
That's from one of my all-time favorite albums, Layla, and most of it is about the heartbreak he was experiencing from Pattie Boyd, who was George Harrison's wife, who was his best friend. And speaking of reinventing songs, he even does it with his own songs. You know, it's easy to get wrapped up in how to play the guitar and lose sight of the big picture. But Eric is always focused on translating his life into music, particularly turning pain into music. And there's no better song for an example than this.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven?
Check out some of these early sounds he would get.
Those two are the volume. This one is for that pickup, and that one is for that pickup. And this is the tone for that pickup, and this is the tone for that pickup. And just by, you know, turning them all off or turning them all on, you can get a completely different sound. You know, you just get... And you get it very, very thin, like this. It's what you play when you've done that makes a difference, you know, because you can play...
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, just the amount of pressure you put on with the flat pick, you know, because you can hit the strings very hard or hit them very soft, you know, or just touch them at any volume. You see? Now I can play that at the same volume but softer.
His dedication to getting a variety of tones has given him so many sonic options, but sometimes just a clean tone is all he needs. But sometimes for a more aggressive sound,
as I rock the pedal, you can hear it through the amplifier. As I rock the pedal, it takes bass off and puts treble on. See, like that. So in actual fact, your volume isn't going down very much, but the tone is going wow.
So while we all want to learn from the musicians that inspire us, ultimately the world doesn't need more copycats, but instead more unique voices. I always find that I play my best when I just play what feels right to me.
First of all, I was imitating. You know, to be honest with you, I was copying what I heard on record and trying to do it that way. And as time went by, when I started to meet my heroes, for instance, when I met Freddie King, when I met Muddy Waters, they didn't want to hear me play like them, right? So they wanted to hear me play like me. And that's when I realized that I had to develop some kind of personality of my own with my music.
You might be asking, how do I get more of a vocal-like sound the way Clapton does so well, but of course in my own style? Well, I put together a free mini course called Make Your Guitar Sing. I break down how to figure out a vocal melody, learn the details of how a singer shapes the notes, and how to apply it to the guitar so you can get out of the common rut of just sounding like you're soloing with just a scale. You can find out more from the link in the description down below. Now, we looked at the things we can learn from Eric Clapton, but there's so much more we can all learn from the different perspectives of other guitarists. So check out this video here where I show you what any guitarist can learn from David Gilmour.